Jamie Horris, again, like she said, serial entrepreneur. I'm going to lead up with how I came to be here. Stu Carroll and my wife, who's in the reserves, they did a training up, I think, last year. And then just through name referrals, he said, hey, would you be interested in coming to speak? I said, yeah, you bet. Find an opportunity, take it. That's, less than 1 year. Now a little bit more about myself. I guess in 2004, I got out of high school. Like most people that joined the military, I went right in. I'm a surge baby, so 2005, they're, hey, you got a pulse? Cool, come on in. Let's make it happen. And I did all the beautiful tourist spots, Mosul, Baghdad, did a bit of the Kunar province in Afghanistan. Took a round to my left knee, and I had high hopes of being special forces for the rest of my life because I was really into the Army. And just like that, my plans got derailed.
Career change.
Yeah, it's like wrong. I said, oh, that's a drag, now what? There's a kid who had no ambitions to ever go to college or do anything other than the military, and all of a sudden, that whole dream of mine is out the window. Now what? And I've seen a lot of my friends go down the deep dark path of booze and regret, and you just sit there and essentially just pat yourself on the back and feel sorry for yourself, and nothing comes of that. I didn't want to exist that way, so I went to college. Why not? I'm already paying for it, let's do it. I didn't know what I was going to study, so once again, fly by the seat of my pants. Got political science. That's as useful as it sounds. It's not. So I graduated, I'm like, yeah, who's not going to want to hire me? Veteran and good grades and all that. Well, with that degree, the fat zero employers were interested in what I had to offer. So I was at home with my kid. I met my wife in school as well, the one I mentioned earlier. And she was doing a lot of the reserve stuff, bringing home the bacon, and I was essentially bored. I was, stay-at-home dad. Like, this is a drag, I gotta do something. So what am I gonna do? So I started developing my network. All right, that is so impossibly important, is to just develop meaningful relationships with people. Don't ever write off anybody because of what you think they are. Strike up a conversation with a stranger. That's paid off more for me than really anything. And before I knew it, I was tasked to be a COO of a pharmaceutical startup. What? So, okay, let's rock and roll. Take the initiative. What am I going to do? Lots of homework, lots of networking, getting out there, just making it happen. All right, just riding the wave. Didn't work out. Now what? Security consulting firm. Let's do it. Me and my friend, he was a former Marine. He was in a FAST team for a lot of years. We did that. That didn't take. Then what? Cybersecurity. Now it's just attached to a company. They're still going strong. They just got their Series B funding, so they're on their way up and up, trying to go public. And then that didn't work. So now what? Well, my sister and my brother-in-law, who was in the State Department, got stationed in England. So they left behind their farm with nothing to farm. So my mother said, let's grow hops. I said, all right. Perfect, hops. Well, I like beer. That's about as far as I knew about hops. So yeah, we'll figure it out. And we did, actually really well. We had a pretty unique market corner there. We grew the only USDA certified organic crop as the biggest crop in 3 states. And we were selling affordable stuff. But it's a farm. You're never going to really, get into the black that way. Okay, you're not going to be raking in millions. So you had all this extra stuff. What do you do with it? It's all about adapting. So, want to start a brewery? You bet. And that's really that's how I've been operating this whole time. Fast forward a few years, and we now have one of the biggest breweries in Northern Virginia. We're not distributing or anything. I mean an actual footprint. We're in an old Safeway. The building's huge. We can fit almost 200 people in it. All right, and we brew just dozens of different beers on it's not even on a cycle rotation. It's just something else is popular, let's give it a shot. Something else is popular, let's give it a shot. Keeping our ears open and seeing what's good. All right, now currently I'm working as a financial advisor. I'm not even working at the brewery anymore. And that was part of my plan. I didn't want to brew beer my whole life. I wanted to stake in a successful company. I wanted to pick up the equity in the company. I built it, after all. I wanted to maintain some of it, and that's what I'm doing. So that's that. That's the long and short of my recent resume, post-Army. As far as lessons learned are concerned, prepare yourselves to get really, really fat on humble pie. You can plan as well as you want, okay? Planning's great. In fact, it's incredibly necessary. You need to detail every single thing you want just to watch it crumble, okay? Yep, this is how it's going to happen, and then you're going to trip, and then, oh, hell, what now? But planning actually allows you to sit there and separate everything and allow for all the contingencies, as many possibilities as you can think of. Just that way nothing is that big of a surprise. I have not done nearly enough planning or due diligence in any of my companies. Shooting from the hip is great. It's exciting, it's sexy, feels awesome. I mean, nothing gets your motivation going until a mistake happens, until a hard lesson comes, like you didn't get that permit. Your company is now illegal to operate, It's like, what? I'm sorry, what? You didn't pay that fee, get out. Oh. Oh my God, why didn't I think of that? Like, well, because you didn't think of it, honestly. You didn't sit down with a pad and paper, and I got these lined up in my room. Driving my wife nuts. I'll sit there and scribble stuff to think about. And just for reference, I'm currently producing my 6th company. So I'm just always hustling around, okay? If you want to start a company, there's nothing stopping you at all. The easiest and the simultaneously hardest part about starting a company is the LLC, or the LP, or whatever structure you want. You can do it on the internet. You can go to City Hall the old school style and hand jam it if you want to. It's easy. Name, address, company name, how it's going to be taxed. Congratulations, you're now a business owner. That's exciting. It's also terrifying because now you got a fire lit under you and it has to work. You got to get it going. Because not only is the government going to come and get its nut from you, you actually have to start producing. It is now real. It's not longer just an idea rattling around in your head. This is an enterprise, okay? And that, especially if you're juggling several jobs or several other things at once, it's going to be real hard to prioritize. That's when it comes back to planning. All right, you have to know how much time you're willing to allocate to this, what you're willing to give up for it, because the company is an organism. I mean, you can look at it however way you want. Like, oh, it's just a moneymaker. Like, well, yeah, kind of. But really, it's not living and breathing, but it does require constant attention. A professor of mine, I recently graduated from Johns Hopkins with an MBA. Once again, didn't see that coming, but here I am.
Does it help?
Oh, it looks great on a business card. It's got 3 letters, MBA. What's that mean? Like, I don't know. Took a bunch of classes, used the GI Bill again. It worked out. But one of my professors, he's actually a lot into artificial intelligence and machine learning. He's a techie. But he named his company SoCat after his daughters Sophie and Catherine. I said, why'd you do that? It sounds like a cool little niche, nerdy tech name. That's nice. Why? He goes, because all the other companies I started, I didn't do that, and they all failed because it was just another company. This one reminds me of my kids and actually makes me think about it like them. I'm not going to sit there and create my kids and like, yeah, you'll be fine. Like, no, you got to pay attention to them. You got to nurture them. You got to bring them up, lead them, guide them, develop them. You got to watch them make mistakes. You got to learn from them and help go that way. So I said, that's interesting. I wouldn't have. He didn't strike me as that type of guy, but the emotional factor really weighs in. If you're going to start a company, you have to be emotionally vested in it, unless of course you're an investor, in which case, yeah, you can go ahead and throw money at it. But if that's not where you're at, don't think of it that way. Like I said, I just graduated with an MBA. The kid that had no ambition to ever go to school just got out of, one of the premier institutions on the East Coast. Didn't see it coming, and I'm not bragging. It's just how it works. So don't let your past determine your future. Let it influence it by all means. Take those lessons learned, but do not let it dictate it, okay? 10 years ago, I was learning how to walk again. I was relatively uneducated, minus a high school diploma. My ambition stretched to go into the class 6 on Friday, and that was about it. If I let that dictate my future, I'd probably still be doing that. I'd be, 200 pounds heavier than I am right now, wouldn't be married, probably wouldn't have a kid, and I would just be like a pile of human, sitting there feeling bad for myself. So don't let your past dictate your future by any means. It's not the boss of you. Learn from it. Is your friends or your future? If you show me the 5, the common thing, 5 people you spend most of your time with, like you're the product of those 5 people. There's a guy named Dan Pena. He's a billionaire and super motivated, very intense guy, former chopper pilot, I believe, actually. And he says, you show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Choose your friends wisely. There's nothing wrong with it. You can have a history with somebody all you want to, but it doesn't mean that you are by any means bound to them, okay? And this is a slightly darker view of it. I left the Army with a couple hundred friends. I think I got 5 left. There's no burned bridges or anything, but there's a lot of guys that, they're not moving forward. They've essentially quit. And it's sad, it is. But it's your life and it's your choice. You can either be sad and quit with them, or you can move forward. And those other friends that want to encourage you, bring them along, help them move forward, all together, all right? If there's nothing wrong with getting rid of the dead weight, okay? Sometimes you gotta trim the fat to move forward. So hang out with other entrepreneurs, other small business owners. You feed off of it. I'm really not that peppy of a guy, but when I sit there and hang out with other business owners, I sit there and leave any room I'm in. I'm not even in their industry. I'm not even in their same league. I'm like, yes, who else is jacked up? My wife is like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I just talked to this guy. He does computers. Like, you don't know about computers. Like, yeah, but he does. And he's like way passionate about it. I'm into it. I want to help him. I'm like, okay, you know. So hang out with others. If that's what your future, you know, getting to know about business and learning business and starting them, hang out with other people doing the same thing. Because if you're hanging out with another group of people that aren't in the same mindset, all right, it's toxic, just like motivation, right? I mean, how many like career E4s are there? It's like they're sort of sitting around and they're just draining people, right? It's toxic. You don't need that. All right, so that revolves back, hang out with your friends, the other entrepreneurs, the other business owners, the other people that are going to help push you forward. All right, it's all about your circumstances that you can dictate yourself. Okay, it's easy enough to find, especially in Northern Virginia. Okay, this place is probably one of the wealthiest regions in America. You can find somebody willing to invest in your business just because that's what they do for fun. All right, but you need to decide how much control you're going to give up and how much of the company you're going to give up. It's their money. That's fair. Not all of them are business experts, though. They're just rich, but they associate that with being an expert. You need to set the terms out very clearly. And if they're like, no, I want to run it, but it's your baby, if you're not comfortable with that, go find someone else. Don't just take the first dollar bills that come your way, because that'll end up really hurting you. It was a painful year and a half of listening to people that had zero small business knowledge, just fat wallets. Like, hey, we'd like a couple percent. Yeah, you bet, no problem. Just don't get in my way. Okay. And they immediately got in my way. I'm like, okay, we were contingent that you didn't do this. It's actually on paper. Please read this. It's a contract. This is how your shares are dictated here. So we ended up having to buy them out, which put a dent in our wallet. But you have to be comfortable with what you're willing to exchange for funding. That's just one way. I mean, yeah, you can go to a bank if you want. Banks are kind of tricky, though. Right now, they will stroke any check you want. $1 million? Here, go, cool. Money, pay me. No? All right, give me everything you own as collateral. Like, oh, God, okay, it gets kind of scary with banks. But once again, it's their money. So the other options, you can, if you save up for a lot, you can do that. So when you're starting a company, do your due diligence. Sit there and get on the internet and go to a library, talk to other people. How much does XYZ cost? Your first year, you can expect to spend double and make half. And that's generous. Spend double, make half. If you can afford to do that, go for it. If not, think of how you can afford it. Don't say you can't afford it. I can't afford that. I'm like, well, that was a quick dream crusher. No. Find a way. Money everywhere. There's people willing to help. I mean, I was not above asking my family for what they could spare. I wasn't sitting there, I need this much, Pop. I said, Pop, is this interesting to you? No. Cool. How about you, Mom? So it's okay to do that, all right? The bottom line is there are lots and lots of different areas, and you should do that when you're starting. Look at the pros and cons of going to a bank. A bank will not take any control of your company, but they'll take your house if it takes a dump. Okay, so make sure you set up all the corporate structures so that way you're protected. By the way, an LLC, a limited liability company, that's literally what they're for, to protect you in the event of a business downturn. I own a house. If my company goes down, no one's going to touch my house because my house does not belong to the LLC. They can take what the LLC is worth, which is nothing on paper, so good for you, but they're not going to get your personal stuff. I mean, luckily we live in the age of information. Everything is out there from very reliable sources. Do your homework. Do it. Sit down. I don't care if it takes a month or a year. Do your homework. Do the planning. Strategize this from the bottom up. Make it comprehensive. That way, it's going to be smooth, and you're not learning the hard way. It's like, oh, I needed this much money. Oh God, hey, what's this? Tax season. And you just you're Rocky Balboa at the end of the first year. You're just sitting there, God, this is exhausting. Please stop. I feel like I'm a side of beef. It's like, yeah, well, welcome to the world. That's just how it is. So funding is kind of tricky. A lot of firms, like tech firms. I'm friends with a lot of tech firm owners. They all work for Booz Allen or Northrop or Boeing or you name one of the big contracting firms. And they had this great skill, coding usually, some sort of cybersecurity. They got a clearance and they got a skill. They had zero overhead. They don't need anything. They don't even need an office because they all have to work on site, right? For whatever contract they're working. I mean, this guy is just He's crushing it. He's just absolutely killing it. Why? He took the risk. He started a company, but then he's just landing contracts. Cool. Sends an employee over there. $1 million contract. Fun. Same thing. Same thing. Same thing. Brewery, super high overhead, tiny margins. Okay? That's just how it works. I took the risk. It's going okay. I'm not killing it like him, but then again, we're not the same person. I'm not envious of that. I'm like, God damn it, Joe, I should have taken coding. It's not who I am. It's not what I did.